I call the meeting to order for Tuesday, September 3rd. The meeting having been moved from last night, which was Labor Day. I hope you'll have a weekend. First order of business is, is there anything that you want to add to the agenda? Anyone? Hearing nothing, we'll go forward. Minutes of the meeting of August 19th, which I think you had a chance to look at. Any comments?
No, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of August 19th.
Second it.
Thank you. If no further discussion, all in favor of approving the minutes for August 19th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions?
I was trying to think, where was I at that August 19th meeting? What's my name on
Your name's
there?
not
Don't
there.
matter, don't matter.
You know what?
That does.
Mr. Fitzpatrick
You were
and
there.
Miss Huber abstained.
Is that the one you came in late?
Absent.
No?
Okay, so we need to
We'll put you on.
amend
Get you on.
the minutes, right?
Already
Yes.
voted on it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We
well,
voted it, but we can go back and amend it, can't we?
Because I was at that
Oh,
one.
just a
Where were
motion. Yeah, a motion to add.
Okay, a motion to add
Should do it.
Mike Fitzpatrick as a member present.
Further discussion. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Right.
Good catch, Mike. Okay, road foreman and road commissioners report was passed out this evening. Anything you wanna point out as a highlight?
I've only got one person so far that's interested in the stone wall repair on Cemetery Hill. One guy I talked with said he was booking 2 years out, so I kind of eliminated him. The speed study that you have, at some point, that the traffic safety audit people now have a copy of it, and I think they will shoot us back a little recommendation thing after they review it. And then we should plan on having a meeting with the village people to talk about it all. It probably shouldn't be a regular meeting because it could be a while,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
special meeting, yeah.
yep. So Newfane Hill Road will be closed Thursday morning for a few hours for tree removal. And as of right now, Thursday or Friday will be the milling in the village. And I'll touch base with Angela and figure out how we're gonna try to let some people know. Chris Campney was gonna do it, but I don't believe his message said he's out until Thursday night, so.
You could reach out to Bob Litchfield or Ken Shoptra
Okay.
as the other trustees.
Bob's gone, I think, too.
Okay.
So once they mill that, Jay, now we gotta put that granite curbing around? Take that all up and shade
Yeah,
it?
he said he could give us some advice on how to do it. I guess they've done some curbing work, so he's supposed to be down here. Maybe it's either tomorrow or Thursday morning. So the paving guy said he could give us some ideas, so.
Can I just, what are we talking about in the village? What area that's being done?
West Street, Court Street, Cross Street, and Church Street.
And then the curbing is what?
At the end of Cross,
Oh, that funny,
that weird thing, we're gonna try to make it so that we can actually plow that and make it so the fire trucks can turn left and go down West Street too.
So you said West Court, Cross, and
Church.
Church, yeah.
So when they plan on paving it, eh?
Tuesday maybe, depending on weather.
And you're gonna mill that Friday?
Thursday or Friday. There's a chance it'll happen Thursday because of where the machine is or something. So
We had the village meeting before where you came and talked about it, so they're aware it's gonna happen.
I just was trying to give them heads up, so
Right.
people parking on the street and stuff.
I'm not sure how we're gonna be able to do that.
Flyers.
You know what day they come in to pave? Monday or Tuesday, you said?
Tuesday,
Cause they're gonna say, you need a good day, so I'll put that curb
Right.
back in place. And all that, and then compact it into the blacktop so you have to dig the dirt out, but they put the grass.
yeah,
That's up this week, right?
yeah, the paving would be next week, yeah.
So like the library should be notified, Four Columns.
Fort
church.
Collins knows, I talked to them. They actually called today because they weren't sure what was going on, so I did talk to him for quite a while.
So even like a flyer or something that's on each of the houses?
A little late to do that.
Chris was gonna post it on some of the telephone poles, I guess is what he's done in the past.
Chris, you?
No,
Chris
Oh.
Campany.
Oh,
the
Chris.
village- the
Oh,
chair of
And
the
all they're doing,
trustees.
they're taking off a couple inches of pavement.
yeah, should be.
I'll stop by their house on my way home
High
and
and
check
also-
in.
Is that milling gonna go anywhere, or are they just taking it away? 'Cause I,
Towns.
huh?
That's the towns.
Yeah, it belongs to us, we're gonna take it down to the pit and then we'll use it, mix it in some gravel or something, and use it again.
Okay. It belongs to the town.
Oh, when we finished that cement extension, Renault Brothers did on South Wardsboro Road, came out really good. And matter of fact, the day we backfilled it, I noticed people were moving over about 2 feet from where the road used to end. So they seem to be using that extra space now. So,
Yeah, that's, yeah, they're good.
yeah, it came out good.
What
Because it's
section
a-
is that?
Where they did it?
Yeah, it's up.
We went over it last, two
Yeah, it's
meetings
a-
ago.
It's up, down 8th of a mile beyond our town.
2 meetings ago was a long time ago for me. I'm just asking a question.
It's up about 8th of a mile, quarter mile beyond our town, so it's Eddie Road.
Oh, it's on Eddie Road?
No, it's on
Oh,
South.
past, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like the second corner up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Above that, yeah.
Thank you.
On your third one on the stone basin,
Yep.
how many people have you talked to? Just two or?
Talked to two so far. One is interested, one wasn't really. And I've got a couple other names. I just don't know if they're going to be more artistic than just a structure. I mean, you just need somebody to lay up a wall that's going to hold. I don't know. I'll try to find somebody that can
Did
give
you
me some.
check into the place down in Brattleboro?
I know a couple of those guys, and they do tend to do some pretty nice work, which I don't know that we can afford. You know, we're looking for more of a basic stonemason.
Oh, John Stebbins.
Is he still able to?
Still doing it.
Okay, I can try him.
Did you talk to Henriette about the name that she had? No? Okay.
All right, well, we'll go on. Thank you very
Sure.
much. Anything else on the road foreman's report?
I make a motion to approve the road foreman and road commissioner's report.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. No further discussion, all in favor of approval of the foreman's road commissioner's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, thank you. Administrative assistant does not have a report for us this evening. She'll have a follow-up with our next meeting. As far as I know, we don't have any scheduled members of the public. Unscheduled members of the public. You're not a member of the public, you're planning commission.
Down below. I'd much rather be up here with unscheduled.
Okay. We'll put you anywhere you want.
Hi, Let's see, Hawaii's good.
I bet.
Okay, if you want me to go ahead.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Lynn Forrest, Newfane Planning Commission. The Planning Commission secured for the town a municipal planning grant for 2018 that went through May 31st of this current year. In order to finish our reports, we have to have an authorizing officer and a grant administrator, and the authorizing officers that we had when we applied for the grant are not here anymore. And the grant administrator was Shannon. Shannon has moved on to greener pastures, we hope. So we need two new authorizing officers. I spoke with Pete. He said, well, usually the chair is number one, and then there's an alternate, and it's a form that is exactly the same as the form that was filled out and signed by the select board previously, except the names have been changed to protect the guilty, and it's got the grant number on it. So I would give this to the select board for their signature. And then I'd give it to the planning commission chair, who's Ken Esty, and then it can go to the state of Vermont.
Very well. If we could take a glance at it, pass it around quick. Okay, I've seen it now.
It resolved, it resolved.
So you need two of the authorizing officials? Or do you just need an authorizing official from the board and a grant administrator?
There has to be an authorizing official and an alternate authorizing official and the grant administrator. I volunteered to be grant administrator because I wrote the grant, submitted the grant, did the work on the grant, and almost done with the finished report.
Okay, thank you. So now we just need two people, officials.
And I spoke, since Angela was involved with the grant and the work on the grant during that time period, the commission had asked her if she would serve as the alternate, and she said yes.
Joanne?
Did I say Joanne? I mean Angela.
Oh, okay.
Joanne was there feeding the planning commission, but no, she did not serve in that capacity.
If that's okay with the board.
So do I nominate Angela then, vote on it, how do we do it?
It would be a nomination and
Nomination, nominate Angela.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the nomination, election of Angela Sandborg to represent the select board, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay.
Abstentions?
Since it's a nomination.
Okay,
So just to clarify, it's Pete and Angela, right?
yeah, want to make a correction to my name, that's
Hendrick.
my real name, by which I seldom answer, to which. Okay. Then Ken Esty takes over from you, right?
Right. As the planning commission chair.
Yeah. Okay, any other further questions, comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Well, okay. Pass it around for signatures. I believe we've taken care of unscheduled and scheduled members of the public just by virtue of general information. I'll get to a couple of others who were involved in some things when we get to new business. and/or correspondence. Okay, the last meeting we had on our agenda the conflict of interest policy, and it was thought that we would perhaps take a little time to take a look at it ourselves and come back with comments, queries. Thank you. Oh, I've got a couple there, I'm sorry.
All the select board members have to sign.
Does
And I
anybody?
will make a copy for Winetta and send it to you.
Thank you. Great. If you had a chance to look at the conflict of interest policy that was, I guess, adopted some time ago, is there anything that anyone wishes to, well, not that long ago, but is there anything that anyone wishes to have considered for change,
Well,
improvement, whatever, excuse me?
yes, I did receive an email from someone in the community, and I wanted to share what they had written. Hi Shelley, I'm contacting you today as a Newfane resident and would like to share some thoughts about the conflict of interest discussion underway among the select board. But first, let me thank you for your ongoing services to the town of Newfane and the dedication and seriousness you bring to it. Next, if it's okay with you, I would like what follows to be on background, meaning I encourage you to share them with the board or anyone else, but without attributing them to me by name. My suggestion is quite simple. I believe the town should have a written rule according to which no town officer, select board member, or salaried person can engage in any sort of business with the town. If an individual wishes to bid and perform a paid service for the town of Newfane, they cannot be an elected member of the town government, select board, administrative assistant, treasurer, town clerk, road foreman, etc. If someone wants to perform a paid service for the town, like paint the town offices, pave a dirt road, set up a network in the town office, whatever, and ultimately present the town with a bill for their services, either directly or through a company they work for, this individual cannot also be holding any town governance position, nor can they already be an employee, full-time or part-time, of the town of Newfane. We live in a small area, and it's perfectly legit for a Newfane company to bid and to be hired by the town to perform a job. It should just be established once and for all that the person or company hired cannot be a town employee nor hold an elected position. If they do, they would have to step down from their position before their bid would be considered by the town. I do not question anyone's integrity and don't believe we have any kind of cronyism going on right now, but the optics have not always been very good. So a clear set of guidelines would help everyone. I hope this makes sense. Please let me know if you need any clarifications, and I would appreciate it if you would not mention me by name should you pass this suggestion to the rest of the board, respectfully, anonymously.
I was kind of like a double-edged sword, what she said. One thing, you can't sit on the board and do any bidding. Next thing, you sit on the board and get up and excuse yourself as we open the bid, sound like you can do it, which is the way we've always done it.
I had a member of the public say that if a member of the board had a company, they could have somebody else step in as a liaison between the company and the board, but that still is kind of a conflict. But I've had a couple of members of the public who wish to remain anonymous state the same facts.
Yeah, but what are they saying? Can you bid on, because I mean, I'll tell you one thing right off the bat. When I was asked to be a selectman, I told them if they ever interfered with me bidding, I'd get the hell off the board so quick it'd make your head spin. You know, because it doesn't bother me. If it interferes with me when I bid for the $200 or $500, whatever, even if it's $10,000, it wouldn't be worth it. You know, and they said, that's what everybody said then, there's no conflict, no nothing. So I mean, if you do it that way, there ain't too many people in town could even serve on the board that Might as well go out of state, out of town and get the goddamn people to sit as selectmen. But everybody here could have a conflict, you know, with anything you do. And I said that, and it's just like this woman here writes like that person's almost saying you can't bid. Actually says, well, if you do bid, you guys sit off, excuse yourself. And that's what we've always done here anyways.
Well, that's not exactly what that person is saying in this here.
Well, no, she did. It's 1 minute at a
Is it
time.
a
you
she or a
should.
he? Do we know?
It's a person.
I know, but you keep saying she,
You
so
know,
I
but
want to
right now, it's
clarify.
a person.
I want
The
to clarify. if
person
we're
can't
gonna-
say who they are.
Right.
I don't like that at
No, I
all.
don't either.
But because it's a small town, some people feel like they want to
Yeah,
remain
yeah,
anonymous,
it's-
and that's their
Well, it's
right.
the same thing, you know, people call the state on you all the damn time. They don't wanna give you a name. Well, if you ain't got balls enough to put your name up against it, don't say it, you know? I mean, as I said, I don't like that. And like I said, before I even took this position, if they're looking at us, I mean, let me know tonight, because that was the case. I'd get the hell out here tonight. I'd resign right now.
I only brought this because it was sent to me and I felt responsible to bring it to the public.
No, I know, I said it, but I'm just saying, you know, no, I ain't got nothing to hide.
And that's what we're here for too, is if members of the public come to speak to us and they want to remain anonymous, that is what we should do. We should do what you did and not name names, because if they wanted to come and talk to the board, they would have been here.
Right.
But because it's a small town, they feel,
Well, I don't have a problem with it. And, you know, if we look back at our conflict of interest policy, in Article 4, definition, and A, conflict of interest means any of the following. I mean, it's laid out, direct or indirect personal or financial interests of a public officer, his or her spouse, a household member, a child, a stepchild, a parent, a grandparent, a grandchild, sibling, aunt or uncle, brother or sister-in-law, business associate or employer or employee in the outcome of a cause, proceeding, application, or any other matter pending before the officer or before the public body in which he or she holds office or is employed. So that's one definition of a conflict of interest. And, you know, in our conflict of interest, that means what's the resulting action? I mean, I don't know exactly where that is resulting, but it is a conflict of interest in those situations. And, it says here, prohibited conduct under Article 5. A public officer shall not participate in any official action if he or she has a conflict of interest in the matter under consideration. So that means that that person should step aside from any voting, right? And a public officer shall not personally or through any member of his or her household, business associate, employer, or employee represent, appear for, or negotiate in a private capacity on behalf of any person or organization in a cause, proceeding, application, or other matter pending before the public body in which the public officer holds office. So it doesn't preclude someone from being in public service as a public officer, a board member.
no, but they can't participate in any action.
Right. So, you know, just to clarify, I mean, anyone can say anything about conflict of interest, but these are our policies. And I think our policy should be, I don't know if it's on the website as a statement, so public can review them. There's also Article 7, it says consideration of recusal. Once there's been a disclosure of an actual or perceived conflict of interest, other public officers may be afforded an opportunity to ask questions or make comments about the situation. If a previously unknown conflict is discovered during a meeting or a hearing conducted by a public body of the municipality, the public body may take evidence pertaining to the conflict and, if appropriate, adjourn to an executive session to address the conflict. I mean, it's pretty extensive as to what to do if there is a conflict of interest. I think it's important that the public understands that this is our policy and that the board members also understand what the policy is.
I wasn't here when this was approved in April, 5 months ago. I'm curious as to what brought this to a vote at that time.
I think we
Was it a
just
similar
updated it.
discussion?
No, I think we were just updating what was already in existence and for the new board members to be to recognize what the conflict of interest is.
Yes.
Then why are we doing anything about it now? We already voted on it then.
It was brought up at the special meeting we had recently about conflict of interest, and we decided we needed to have a discussion about it.
Yeah, I've gone over this thing, and it looks to me like a pretty clear-cut piece of work that a couple of one or more attorneys put together. It's probably in use in a number of towns.
I was hopeful that maybe Lynn would have done some research just to show what other town conflict of interest policies look like.
I think you'll find that was taken out of the book of the BLTC.
Yeah, more than likely,
I would suggest as
right?
good possibility.
Yeah.
At the same time,
I think you'll find that's been in the
uh,
order for a long time. They
Right.
just adopted it again, all that.
Right.
Right.
I mean, for each board meeting I mean, you should be aware of it, and we should have your signature on it as a, board member.
well, it's in effect having been adopted by the board on April 1st, so that's not
I don't think,
critical.
personally, I don't think we need to do a thing with it right now. Because it was just adopted.
Well,
We're not saying that, we're just saying we're reviewing it. So it's in the public's understanding of what the conflict of interest is. My suggestion is to put it on the website so that if someone needed to see it and understand it, they could just click on it and get it, or come in here, get a copy of it.
Yeah, because it's
So
part of a public meeting, it's always available.
All right.
Anybody can come
They
in and
can
get
go right in
whatever
there
they
and
want
look
to
at
see.
I think
You have a perfect right to.
we came to this because there were some that wanted to review it and see if there was anything that should be updated on it. The second question that we have now is, well, should it go on the web, on the site? I don't think there's any question of that. My question at this particular point, is there an amendment, a change, an addition, anything that anyone wants to make to the Newfane conflict of interest policy at this time? Or any other action that anyone would like to suggest?
Well, one action, as you said, put it on the website.
I don't think it'd be as simple as just adding something to the thing right now. I don't think you can do that, can we? I mean, that goes out to like a public meeting and everything else to change that kind of stuff, right?
I don't
And
think so.
when we went through we went down through all the whole list of things and we're doing it.
No.
I think that
I don't know if you can just change it anytime we want, you know?
Yeah.
the key words in this, to my mind, conflict of interest means any of the following: a direct or indirect personal or financial interest of a public officer. I think that's pretty straight and pretty narrow, and my observations since I came back on is that in instances where there have been some, don't know if question is the word I want to use, that the situation has been handled correctly by the individuals that have been involved, let's put it that way. So unless I hear something
It's,
different.
well,
I'm
you
sorry.
can't just say that because it's giving you the prohibited conduct. And that is, they shall not participate in any official action. So they
If they
can't,
have a personal or
Right.
financial interest.
Right.
Correct,
correct,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So, I mean, that's been the policy. And like you said, it's reiterate. It's probably by VLTC, which is what's the full name?
Vermont League of Cities and Towns,
Yeah, and they use,
them up there.
yeah. And they're legally, I mean, they've done all the legal review of the policies that they put in, as suggested. And they refer to statutes in the state Vermont law. So in this one, it's 24 VSA 229120 that they reference.
Whoever wrote this reference to that, we don't know if it was VLCT or not.
Well-
We're guessing.
Guessing, pretty sure.
I just
Yeah.
want to give us a little wiggle room there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I guess my interpretation at this point is we take no action on conflict of interest policy.
I think the document is fine the way it stands.
I would have to hear something to the contrary to move forward without,
I think it's all right the way it is. Leave well enough alone.
it is alone. Thank you. The
Okay,
amendments,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
But can we make a motion, or do we have to make a motion, or just a note that you're going to ask the admin to put it on the website?
You
Can we
may-
agree to
you
that?
may I agreed to ask her to do that, yeah, I got a note to do that. If you want a motion,
Well, just everyone,
fine.
do you feel the same way?
I feel like if we're leaving it the same and the only thing we're doing is adding it to the website, then it should be fine. We're not
Right.
changing anything. It's just another piece of paper to go on the website.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
We don't need to make a motion for that.
Okay, but I just wanted you to, I just didn't want any stopgates or concerns.
okay, thank you. Our next item of business is open the bids on Hunter Brook Road project. And we have one, to be so kind. Thank you.
I don't want to get any paper cuts anyways.
Need my knife. A bid proposal from Fitzpatrick Excavating of Wardsboro, lump sum contract of $11,000. This is the sole bid proposal that we've received on this particular job. What is the board's feeling?
I have a question before we say anything about that to Fitzpatrick Excavation about the Dover Road project. At the last meeting, you had said you had talked to Mark Pickering. What is
talked to
the
him
status
the
on
other
that? What's up?
I talked to him about it at this last meeting, I guess, so
And when is that going to be completed?
probably within the next week.
Oh.
I think probably what you should do, I'd recommend giving that to Mark, let him look it over. That's what you want to do with all the bids, so.
Can we,
Yes.
because of the timing, could we award, tentatively award them subject to Mark Pickering reviewing them? Because you're either gonna have to have a meeting in another day or two, or we can't wait till the next meeting.
Yeah.
So try to,
October 1st.
yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be done.
so,
I make a motion that we have Mark Pickering, right? Who is
this district engineer.
district State of
V-Trans
Vermont District V-Trans engineer review it, and with his approval, that it's granted to Fitzpatrick Excavating.
I'd like to make an amendment to that. Whoever gets the next bid is done the same way. So, it's coming, that we're gonna open in a few minutes, so that both, he looks at both of them, then they can be done immediately there afterwards.
Okay.
Well,
Okay, I second that.
I think we should do it separately though, only because then we have it in
I would-
the notes best.
I would agree, I'd like to have it,
Separate.
separate, just do them both.
I mean, it means the
But
same
I-
thing. I don't care who the person is.
Yeah.
It means that is it soon looked at, it can just,
Yeah, but let's
Yeah.
do it separately, each bid.
whatever.
So we'll make this as a, I second his motion, no, I made the motion.
Yeah, is there a second? The motion is that we forward this to,
Mark Pickering,
Mark Pickering for his review and comment. He doesn't get a chance to approve. And then if he has no problems with it, we go ahead with Fitzpatrick Excavating. There, that's the motion before us. Is there discussion?
On your bid, it seems, from my recollection, this is a different price from the first one that you had done, is this correct? And that's because,
I was about 2.5, 3 months later when I bid the first one.
okay. And the project has changed
No.
because
Well, it's just scheduled.
the schedule?
labor.
Further, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion as stated, please say aye.
Did we get a second?
Yes,
Who
a
seconded?
second. Yeah, Chris.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. Aye.
I'm still looking for ayes.
Aye.
Thank you. Any nays? Any abstentions? I can be recorded as voting in favor. If you would do the honors.
Two of them?
2 bids on the Hunter Brook project. I mean, I'm sorry, Lynch Bridge project. I'm stuck on Hunter Brook till that gets done.
Now, where's Lynch Bridge?
Just next to me, this side of my
I don't
house.
know where you live.
It's that really nice bridge that
Way the
doesn't.
hell.
Bridge goes to nowhere.
The
Yeah,
first bridge towards Dover on Dover Road,
yeah.
because you have
Nice bridge.
Lynch Bridge and then you have Hunter Brook Road Bridge.
It's for somebody's driveway. You go across the bridge.
Oh, that little one that goes
And
across
the one that goes
the
nowhere.
brook? Okay. Is that a problem? That I don't know where that bridge is?
No, not at
Okay.
all.
No,
Okay.
very few of us do.
Yes. So this is a bid for the Lynch Bridge project, and the bid amount for the stream stabilization work is $22,000, gravel bar removal and trucking to South Newfane Yard was $20,000. Total bid is $42,000. The bidder is Fitzpatrick Excavating, and that's one bid.
How much was his bid?
Together was $42,000. And the second bid, same breakdown for stream stabilization work is $33,000. Gravel bar removal and trucking to South Newfane Yard, $15,000. Total bid is $48,000. And this is from Amadin Construction LLC. And that's in Jamaica, Vermont.
And we can look at those?
Yeah,
Awesome.
certainly. And they've been marked as the time and date they were received. I'll probably keep those envelopes for a file. Because there's no question.
What's the board's pleasure?
Well, I make a motion to accept Fitzpatrick Excavating since it's the lowest bid and meeting specification.
I think what I feel is a board member is that he has 2 jobs open, perhaps the Hunter Brook Road, and then he still has the company has the Dover Road project, and these have to be done by October 1st,
Oh,
because we have to be out of the river, right? Seems like it's cutting it close. And it doesn't say in our purchasing policy that we have to go with the lowest bid, it just,
And I know Mark wanted to look at these too.
right,
So I think I'd just send it down to him and look it over. It's just like he said, it's not up to you guys
No, we
to decide
can't.
if you get the work done in time.
okay, I just,
just out of curiosity, if you got into these, how long do you think it would take you to do them, all 3? 2, I mean, the 2.
I'll finish up on
Then
one.
two
so-
there.
Finish up on one.
Probably a week and a half.
Sorry.
Week and a half. I mean, I'll tell you the truth, I'm not the fondest of doing like we're doing, how we're doing this to the town. I was taking the gravel budget to pay for this. It makes pretty expensive gravel. I mean, if it had been me, I'd have tried to get a grant, you know, for the town, but I guess Jay's looked into it a little bit. And like I said, you got that one bridge where we're gonna riprap on the side of it. I mean, the state didn't spend $500,000 to watch that bridge get washed out. You'd thought they'd come up with some money to pay for the riprapping of it. And as far as cleaning the brooks, there's different outfits that have grants and money to do that. I mean, just like Trout's Unlimited and different things like that. But I mean, you know, I weren't the fondest of doing it this way for us to use our gravel budget because it cuts down on what gravel the town's gonna have to use on their roads. Because this is going out bank run, still gotta process it to make it work.
So my comment on that was that that was part of the bid, is that we would use our gravel resource or
That's why you
source.
can do it. The state will allow you to go and take it. The gravel has to go to the towns.
The gravel has to go to the town?
We have to use it on our roads.
Oh,
That's the only way they'll let you remove gravel from the stream, is if the town is gonna use it.
oh, and that's where it came from?
That, it would be coming out of the stream.
It's coming out of the brook
Oh, okay.
because they got gravel bars and stuff in it. It makes the
Okay.
water, push the water different places it shouldn't be going, so.
Oh, okay. That's what the gravel bars are? That's like a, like,
Big pile of gravel, like the water, you'll see pushes it up. I mean, you go down here by, if you look down here at the bridge where the depot comes out, where the water, the 2 rivers meet,
yeah,
that's almost full of gravel clear across that big river now.
yeah,
And that's all the gravel coming down out South Newfane. It's made a great big gravel bar. You can
right,
walk out through there now and hardly get your ankles wet till you get to the other side.
right.
Another year that'd be
It's part
full.
of the erosion and the sediment that builds up.
Yeah.
It doesn't always build up where they want it to build up.
It's a sandbar made of gravel.
Yeah.
Cubic feet.
Okay,
So how do we get out of that? So or remove it. Removing it. I'm trucking it to something, yeah, that's what it is. Now I understand. Well,
that was your motion.
We get back half.
yes, Shelley made a motion.
to accept Fitzpatrick's, I think Angela made a comment and got answers to her questions.
And this is subject to Mark Pickering's. Okay,
So then Chris is going to note that we can approve this, have this approved, or have Mark Pickering review this, and if he approves it, then it's a go.
Whoever we pick, yes.
Yes.
Further discussion on the motion. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions?
I oppose.
You oppose?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And Mike is abstaining. Okay,
We have a vote of 3, right?
yeah,
Okay, so it's approved.
it is. Let me ask a quick practical question. How does Mark get a hold of these to look at?
I'll scan an email and do them early morning,
Thank you.
so he'll have them first thing.
I put them in for your careful keeping, and thank you very much.
Is that all?
That's the whole smack, thank you. Okay, see if I can find my agenda, get back into business here. Correspondence, we have.
Now, wait a minute, we haven't voted on that yet. Where's Chris?
We did.
They did. To Fitzpatrick.
I know we did the first one, I didn't catch the second one.
Shelley made a motion to,
All right. I'll do this.
Shelley made the motion.
Your
Who
vote.
seconded it?
Thank you.
We asked Carol. Who seconded on that?
I didn't hear.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Okay. So let's
I
go
heard
back.
you make the motion twice, but I didn't
Okay.
hear who seconded it.
Run that tape. We'll just so we'll have a second.
I,
You want to hold a second on it?
I don't usually. I could be put down for that, hung for the same thing.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
I thought you did say that.
Okay, so if you wish to revote to make sure that everybody understands where we are, I would allow that. It is to award the project for Lynch Bridge to Fitzpatrick, provided Mark Pickering approves the bid. All in favor? Go ahead, revote. No? Okay,
No, we have to second it. Well, I have the motion on the table that
Chris seconded it.
Yep,
Chris seconded it.
He's asking for a revote.
okay.
Yeah.
And I will call a revote. It's highly unusual, but let's make sure everybody's happy. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Chris is an aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
No, I am opposed.
Okay. We have under, if I can reach it, correspondence. Have a piece of business with the state of Vermont. We must provide a quitclaim deed for property that the town owns in the vicinity of, I'm not sure the size of the lot or any of that, but it is adjacent to and very important in the Arch Bridge project. So what we would be doing in this case is selling the property involved by virtue of a quitclaim deed to the state of Vermont so they can go ahead and do the work on that bridge when the time comes.
How much is that? I mean, is where the old garage is?
What they need is a little teeny corner of that land right there.
It's,
Yes, to answer your question, Mike.
I'm sorry, what, this is for what?
For the arch.
for the Arch
new
Bridge
arch
project in Williamsville.
Yeah,
So they need a little piece of land over by the old town garage
to do what on it?
to put the bridge on, to make it
The
wider.
bridge is gonna be replaced.
Yeah, I know that,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
I
what,
just didn't think it came all the way up that far,
What?
to the garage.
well, the town owns
The
the
town owns, see,
middle
the
of the
town owns
street
to the bridge.
Oh, gotcha.
to the
That's
bridge
clear.
and to the middle of the.
The
I
old
didn't know
white,
that.
that old white building sitting right there used to be the town garage.
Yes, I understand that part,
Right.
yeah.
It's 1,357 square feet. Could we do without 1,357 square feet of surface land in town of Newfane?
Are we selling it for $1?
I don't know what we're gonna get out of
It's $1,000, I think they offered it.
We'll take it.
it. I think it will come out pretty well if they do the bridge and it will come out well. May I have, is a motion on this? The motion would
I'll make
be,
a motion to do it.
okay,
Second
yeah, we-
I'll third it.
I'm sorry, I should have picked up on this. We'd get $1,000. Okay, the motion is to sign the quitclaim deed. And all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you.
Okay,
Um,
so,
it. Now, does the state own this bridge when it's all done?
No. Sorry.
I just wonder why they want to quit claim the land to them if they don't own the bridge till
Yeah.
it's all done, you know? Because the town owns it now, right?
Yeah.
The town owns the land. I wouldn't think you'd have quit claim the land to the state to have them,
do they maintain it or have any?
no, after it's all done, it's, as I say, it's the town maintenance, or they, do they own it and maintain it, you know?
What does it say on that?
Well,
They're just looking for that little hump of land right now.
it is subject to and takes advantage of the bridge program that the state has, so we get money toward maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Like any
Putting
other
that bridge on there,
What's that?
redoing the bridge,
Right.
yeah.
But
But the
in-
question is why do they need that land in their name?
They do anybody that has any adjoining, that they need a piece of it. Same way.
Yeah,
So be it.
it doesn't say anything in that letter, reasoning.
It's,
public
design right
information.
title interest, certain easement.
So does the new bridge when it's wide and goes towards Grimes Hill more?
Well, no, the other way.
So that the,
Both ways. They gotta
Do you want
change
me to
the
read that one
driveway
section
some.
there? It says what the parcel is.
Does the town own the road bed on either side up to the abutments where the bridge
Yes.
begins? The town does.
temporary easement during the period of construction, the enter upon land of the grantor for construction purposes, including the right to cut and dispose of trees, stubs, brush, bush, and debris, install project demarcation fence, erosion control barriers, together with the right to keep the erosion control barriers clear of debris and functioning properly throughout the project. Project construction as necessary and as noted on the transportation project plans. Undertake general construction functions in an area of 476 square feet, more or less, left and between approximate stations 51 and 32 and 52 plus 15 of the established center line of the transportation project. In other words, the town gets rid of responsibility for one, construction of the bridge, two, maintenance of, or everything that goes together with construction of the bridge, and maintenance of that particular section of it. Total maintenance of that particular section, which is awfully small, but at the same time.
Well, what I heard
in
out
the
of it, which I would like to read it, I guess, is a temporary easement, perhaps during the construction period.
Well, that's so that they can clear the brush out of the way and put a fence up and keep
Nosy people out of there.
squirrels out.
Yeah,
It's be kind of interesting watching build that. How they hook up to that rock somehow, huh?
Take the other one down,
Take
now
the other
finally
one
go
down.
in the river.
I know, it's all full of gravel, right? Just an arch filled in with gravel.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how
Get a
they
hammer on
can
that, it all drop right in the brook.
park a couple trucks down there, let her go.
They say that thing's rugged enough, when it's supposed to be.
well, it looks like a permanent sale,
Yeah,
but then it talks about easements on top of it.
well, that's for construction purposes.
Rights and easements on the land is shown on right-of-way detail sheet. Conveyed to the town of Newfane by warranty.
When's the date they're supposed to start that? They get any closer or not?
21,
Huh?
April 2021.
21?
Oh, this company.
They're gonna do it in one season.
Oh, yeah, it's 19.
Okay, so it's actually the purchase of that land plus easements.
No, the easement, once they have the land, well, the easements are on other property of the town owns, so they can put fences up on our land.
Okay, you're saying so easements that are going into other parts of the town property during that
That's the
period
way
of
I
time.
read it.
Well, I mean, it's important that we know what we're signing here, at least for me it is. So they're purchasing land and then they're asking for easements on other parts of the property that are bound.
No, that's this land they're doing right there. The way I understand it.
No, see, no, it's other easements that are, they're gonna take advantage of, other properties. See, I think,
All the property owners have to do this.
If there is a property
Oh, yeah, 'cause
owner,
Dave Berry had one section, right?
Right, yeah, he's started
He's
done.
already
Dave
done
Berry
this.
probably.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's fine, but it's kind of important that we understand what we're signing.
Well, if you would like to put it off until the next meeting, but I would not suggest that. I mean, this is, again, is boilerplate.
I do believe we already made the motion, seconded it, and voted on it already.
Okay, if you guys just want to sign off on it, that's fine. I haven't read it, but that's fine. I think we should have been afforded a copy of it in advance.
Well, we can come
And
in and get them in
I would
advance.
suggest doing that in the future.
I'll finish this over here. Two copies. We'll move on to other correspondence. On September 11th, from 6 to 7 in the evening at Memorial Hall in Wilmington, there will be a meeting with people from the state, invited by the Windham County legislative delegation to talk about broadband in our area. And this is essentially an invitation to anyone that would like to attend that meeting. Again, September 11th, 6 to 7, Memorial Hall in Wilmington. I'll pass this around so you can take a look at it. I would say we do not need any action on this. Anybody that's interested in going can just go. You're not representing
aware of
the
it.
town or anything.
He's not interested. I'm aware of it.
My grandson said it for the Navy that day, so.
I already know about it as well. Thank you.
Look at it or? Okay. for the bid, because this is new to me as well, so oh, this has to do with broadband as well.
Be the last one.
I think I'm going to sit on this particular piece of correspondence. It's half a dozen pages or so, and I'll bring it up
I
at the
think
next
that's
meeting. I
fine.
don't think it's,
I think it's part of this.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's, but at the same time, if anybody wants to see what it says, what's involved, I probably will go to that meeting, although I haven't the least idea what they'll be talking about, but I won't. We had a letter, or an email actually, from Karen Correspondence that we brought up in an earlier meeting. She twisted her ankle coming out of a theater production in the Williamsville Hall. And we were going to have Williamsville Hall committee people come in and talk to us about it. That has been postponed until September 16th, September 16th, our regular meeting on that evening. At the request of the,
Now, is she looking to,
sorry?
is she trying to get it put through on the insurance or something like that? Or?
No, I don't think so. Let me read, I'll read the letter again. This is, it was to the town from Karen Correspondence. Because you're involved in the Williamsville Hall events, I'm letting you know last Saturday night, which would have been early August, after attending Nickel and Dimed, I fell and twisted my ankle crossing the street to my car. Because it was pitch black outside, I stepped off the blacktop onto the grass, inverted my left foot, and collapsed onto the ground. My husband was there to help me up. I was seen at Grace Cottage. I'm hobbling around, but likely will need physical therapy. I ask that the people responsible be more careful about illumination at night for people leaving the building. I guess my only suggestion relative to that before the 16th would be, if and as you pass by the Williamsville Hall, take a look at it and see if you can come up with any ideas as to how we might put illumination on the
Well,
street.
you know, I've thought about this, and I've said it one other time when they talk about the whole thing right there with traffic. 'Cause I come through there one night when they're all coming up through there, and they're all, next thing you know, you see a flashlight, somebody waving a light at you. Really what they need down there is a couple street lights.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put one down by the Williamsville Hall, there's a pole right on our land that, you know, the town could have one up there, and it needs about 3 lights up to there to light that up, because when you come out through there, when there's people in that thing, I mean, you know, you want to see them keep doing things there, but it is dark down through that street.
yeah. The trees on either side and so forth.
But I mean, well, I think we ought to look into maybe putting up some street lights right there. Because it would have to be the town, right?
I think, I looked at it, I think there are a couple places where some floodlights could be put on the building that would be helpful, but I'm not so sure. I'm not sure how helpful they would be on the other side of the street. It's obvious that she was stepping up onto the grass on the other side of the street from the pavement, from her description. And so I think that your suggestion is probably the answer.
I'd like to make a suggestion. I would recommend that during those performances that they have docents, which would be members of the players or whomever is having an event there, to be like the cross guards, make sure there's flashlights
The
and,
flaggers.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking at more of like a permanent thing, because I mean, they're talking about the
immediate
traffic
solution.
that's going through there all the time. And I was talking about, you know, he's walking up through there and the car comes flying by. Well, you don't see anybody walking through there.
Well,
It's dark. So
the
I think a
level of
couple-
activity in that particular area in Williamsville, let's put it that way, has picked up considerably.
For the restaurants and everything else.
But we'll be meeting with the Williamsville Hall people on the 16th, so we can bring up all these things.
But I
And
mean,
in
I
the
just
meantime,
think as far as the town, maybe like Jay or somebody, a couple of us went over there and looked, and like I said, I know there's the one pole right there at the town hall
you know,
that we could put a light on.
Then you're gonna look at the other people that live there, they probably don't want that damn light flash in there,
They'll have-
shining their house all night.
we'll have to,
I mean, they
We'll have
make
to
different
do that.
style lights, you know, they have different, you know, wattage or dBs or whatever else, so.
we'll have to take that into consideration when we get that far down the road. I
I remember
agree.
here a while back at one of our meetings, somebody said something there, coming out there one night at a meeting, somebody almost run them over, you know, because they're coming down the street. And, yeah, I came through there one night and they're all walking up to there, and next thing you know, I see a light, and there's half a dozen people walking up the street.
Yeah, I've attended there,
In the
and
middle of the road, most of
My-
them.
Yeah.
my recommendation would be to at least get them, let them know that they should be assisting their attendees.
I would
At
like
least the
to,
one at the town hall, there's not a house right directly across from it. Then another one pole I was looking at would be the one right there by the firehouse. And that would take care of a lot of the people that are in and out of that store. There's a pole right down here too, it'd be in between that and Rob's house.
Isn't there a light on at the firehouse, a big light? Used to be
That's
one
really
there.
long.
There is a light out there.
It doesn't work now.
It's not on,
I was gonna say there always was a
like a
Well-
street light.
light there.
My second recommendation is to look into grants. And my third recommendation would be to understand, the dynamics of, that village and look at those plans that people had proposed originally for redesigning that,
Well, originally, they had
Roadway.
trees and everything else on the road.
and cutbacks and crosswalks and,
They had all kinds of stuff up
it's a
through there.
village.
But I think just a couple of lights would help quite a lot up through there. You'd have to ask some of the people about the houses, but that's what I'm saying, at least by what we've got, you could put.
Definitely, I think there should be lights, but I think that we should look at trying to find ways of getting grants to do that work.
okay, this discussion is going to come up again on the 16th, so I go back to my original suggestion is that as you go by, slow down and
Yeah.
take a look and see what you think the answer is, what the problem is, and what the answer might be. We can get all these things out on the table on the 16th as a start. I appreciate everybody's suggestion tonight. They'll come up again.
'Cause I think this thing right here, the whole angle thing's gonna turn into more than just a letter.
Yeah.
We're gonna be paying for therapies and everything.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Well, we'll just have to see what. Just by way of general information, it's 6 o'clock on Friday the 13th, unlucky date, but at 6 o'clock on Friday the 13th will be, the Newfane Tree Warden will hold a hearing relative to an ash tree that's growing adjacent to the South Newfane Williamsville Firehouse. And it's a candidate for removal, but it can't be removed without a hearing. So,
It needs removing.
What time?
It's split.
6 o'clock?
six,
And it's held where?
at
the
the
tree?
tree,
At the tree.
at the tree. You could call it the firehouse, but 6 o'clock.
Ring around the rosy.
Say it's gonna make an awful hole when they do cut that one on that. It's a big tree.
It's good size, white ash.
You ready to go to Florida?
I have to finish a couple,
Oh, she wants to know.
I'll get it to you. A couple of flags that still need to be filled in, I'll do that. Thank you. Is there any other business correspondence, anything that needs to come before us before we go to pay orders? Hearing none. Move to the next item on the agenda, which is pay orders. Thank you for so far. Thanks, Jay.